Good evening, race fans, and welcome along to the inaugural race for season number 2 of the Tasman Racing League Oval Series. We are at the home, the spiritual home of NASCAR. It is Daytona that the drivers will be taking us around today. We've got a very special start to today's race as well. My name is John Wright on behalf of TrackSpotTV. Welcome in, everyone. I'll be joined today by the wonder from down under himself, Mr. George Cooke, joining me in the booth for the season opener. And what a season opener we are going to have.
We certainly are, John.
Sorry, George.
Oh, my apologies. We had a small break in the audio from your mic, and I was like, oh, well, there's my intro spot. We're kicking this off well, aren't we?
Yeah, no, my audio's dipping in and out as well. But yes, we do have George. George, welcome in for this one, my friend. We're looking forward to the start of this one. An absolute barn burner of a season one that went absolutely down to the last checkered flag of the series. And yeah, with the lineup of drivers that we've got this season, we're looking at something very similar as well, fingers crossed.
Yeah, exactly right, John. Yeah, and apologies for the interrupted intro. Welcome in, everyone in stream watching today. And yeah, 75 laps here at Daytona as the season opener. 10 championship rounds ahead of us, and the mid-season classic. Going to be an exciting season of racing. Of course, the Xfinity. We are moving cars to the Xfinities. 3 different kinds of cars going out there today. It's going to be really good. A lot of returning names and a lot of brand new people on the grid as well. Set to be a showdown unlike we've ever seen before. 17 cars on the grid today.
Indeed, yep, 17 cars out on track. Now, we do have a rather sombre start to today's race, deservedly so. One of the drivers that won't be taking part, unfortunately, this year, one of my favourites from last season, Mr. Jack Kelly-Reid. Unfortunately, Jack passed away during the off-season. Exceptionally sad news. He was an absolute diamond of a gentleman, absolute salt of the earth. I cannot commend his driving as highly as any other person on the planet. In fact, if you want to be a sim racer, Mr. Kelly-Reid was the template that should be followed. He was an absolute gentleman in the commentary box. He was a ferocious winner as well as a gentleman on the track, and I can tell you, he will be sorely missed. I'm actually getting goosebumps right now. So for the start of today's race, we will be honouring Mr. Kelly-Reid by having 2 extra pace laps behind the car. I can't say everyone at TrackSpotTV, myself as well. I found that Christmas Eve, yes, it was a long day, the day I found out that he'd passed away. As I say, he was an absolute diamond of a gentleman, and he will be sorely missed, and it's great to see that he is being honoured in this way. So as I say, the start of today's race will be slightly longer. There will be an extra 2 laps behind the pace car, so the racing will start on lap 3, George, and yeah, it does. It's great to see him being honoured in this way. Such a sad loss as well, because he was just a fierce competitor, but a gentleman at the same time.
Exactly right, John. And some of his family were in the TRL Discord as well. We were able to pass on our commiserations here from TrackSpotTV, and many, in fact, nearly everyone in the TRL community passed on their commiserations as well. He will be sorely missed, and I think this is a really nice way of honouring, albeit a small legacy here, but a legacy nonetheless at TRL. So absolutely rest in peace, Jack. We're going to miss you, mate, and we wish you all the best, speeding your way to heaven, hopefully. Hoven's an oval, we'll see. Nonetheless, we will proceed with racing today on lap 3, so that's something to be aware of today.
Indeed, yeah. Again, huge condolences to the family and friends of Jack. I could talk about that man all day long. He really did make a huge impression on me with his talent, and he's talking in the box as well. So yeah, R.I.P. Jack. All the best to you and the family, sir. And yeah, 2 laps will honour you today, and you never know, we might even talk a few of the drivers into getting some of your initials popped on the cars as well. But we have had qualifying already. The drivers already know their results. They know where they're starting. We'll get a look at those in a moment. We're here for 75 laps of Daytona. The weather is going to be nice and clear for the drivers. Thankfully, no rainy ovals for them to deal with. But as I say, it's a 75 feature, 75 lap race. So we're going to see plenty of pit stops, we're going to see plenty of bump drafting, and yeah, a slightly fuller field, as George mentioned. 17 drivers will be making their way around here. We will have virtual safety cars as well, of course. And as we can see there, the weather coming up is the perfect day for having a race. So we'll see how the drivers get on. Hello to everyone in the chat as well. I can see a few RIP Jackson there. Warren Baker in the chat. Lucas is in there as well. So welcome in to everyone. Yeah, Warren cheering on Jason. Yep, so we've already got fans in the chat.
But John,
maybe he's wanting some 80s music on.
I think the critical thing this season is really going to be how your competition with Lewis Buerger is going to progress. I mean, you know, last season it was quite intense. We managed to keep you away from a situation in off-season that put you and him on track together. But he's going to be looking fast today. We've got the qualifying results coming up in a few moments' time. We've got a 10-minute lone quali, and that's just ticking towards the end of it right now. Looks like Jared Williams may not have gone out for his laps, which is why we're going to be probably waiting the full 10 minutes. About a minute and a half to go until then. But Lewis Buerger and yourself, John, how's that going to play out over this next 11 rounds of racing?
Well, the thing is, I wake up every morning and I piss excellence, and that is the standard that Lewis is looking to achieve. He's getting close. He tries his best. Yeah, the rivalry between Lewis. We do love. Can we get a? Oh, George. We do have a request in the chat from Lucas.
Oh dear.
If you could read that, that would be good.
I've seen it. Yeah, and look, it's come up a couple of times actually, but you know, we're always looking forward to a great time at Miami.
Miami. That's the sound. Yeah, that was the sound at the Christmas party of me going past George in the NASCARs. And so we've got. This is true. TrackSpot Christmas party. What happens at the party? Well, it doesn't stay at the party. George and I had a phenomenal race, and Isaac won it because George and I were too busy taking one another out.
and we're now talking about it on a public broadcast, so we can't claim anything stays private at TrackSpot.
No, we can't. Especially when no, I didn't win. Oh no. Warren saying hi from Australia as well. But yeah, no, between Lewis and myself, I did give Lewis a bit of a hard time last season. It's more through frustration than anything else. Remember the time Alex Ferguson kicked a football boot at David Beckham? There we go. Same type of thing. Lewis could win this series, no problem. He just needs to put enough fuel in the car. He's run out of fuel too many times, so we are going to be hanging our peg on that one this season as well. And we will see if there are, if Lewis is once again using the perforated petrol tank he had last season, which seemed to spill fluid. Well, certainly not into his engine bay, that's for sure, because yeah, there's rolling towards the end of the track. Happened several times, so yeah, we'll see how Lewis and I get on this year. He will definitely be in the commentary box at some point before the end of the season. He is very, very, very quick, but we do have a phenomenal lineup as well. Quite a few returning drivers. Of course, Lucas Blake, our series organizer, he is going to be one of the hot favourites for the series. His brother Boone will be in as well. We've got Nicholas Heath, we've got Llewellyn returning, we've got Coates, we've got Buhager, Matthew Serrell returning as well. The Jason Hutchins, Jared Williams, all making their way back for season number 2. Some new drivers, Bradley Austin, Michael Sanders, Jared Gilbert, all out on track as well. So we'll see how they mix in with the drivers. Got some phenomenal liveries out on the track as well, which you'll love to see. We do have ourselves a beautiful little night race. And
we do have a small problem with our qualifying results. Unfortunately, we can't show you the grid right now. Very quickly, we'll see that in a few moments' time, though. So we'll be able to run through that shortly as they prepare for the first very formal 2 laps of this race.
Indeed, yeah, that is us taking off now. It does look like it's Dylan De Bono that has taken the top spot. And oh no, is it Lucas Blake?
Be Lucas Blake, yes.
Yes, it is. So it's Lucas Blake who's taking the top spot. We'll get the cars in some semblance of an order.
Yeah, so I can take us through the results now because it's just starting to figure itself out. And
Oh,
apologies if we make a few
perfect.
small mistakes through here, but we've got a few drivers who are going out of order. Unless it was Dylan DeBolo right at the end, it may well have been. So I believe at the moment, yeah, Dylan DeBono from Lucas Blake, from Matthew Searle, from Nicholas Heath, from Kieran Lash, Lewis Buerger, Michael Sanders in 7th, Jared Gilbert in 8th, Rob Tilley in P9, Damien Coates in P10, then Brandon Johnson, P11, Bradley Austin in P12. We've got Ryan Llewellyn, P13 with Jason Hutchins, Boone Blake is in 15th, followed by Daniel Hutchins and Jared Williams, who decided not to qualify today, which is why we had the extended session late on. But yeah, John, we are preparing ourselves for a little bit of a somber start at Daytona today.
Indeed, yes. Again, yes, it is. Yes, it's very emotional. I'm going to be honest because, yeah, you spend some time speaking to someone, you get to know them, and we had chats. When the interviews end, often the drivers and us broadcasters will hang about in the commentary box. A bit of banter goes back and forward, it's safe to say, obviously, between myself and Lewis. It was quite the season, but again, I cannot speak highly enough of Mr. Kelly Reid. He was absolute salt of the earth, and deserves every mark of respect that can be shown to him. And it's great to see that the drivers out here will be observing these 2 laps. So there is the green, and the drivers will stay at car pace for the next 2 laps. Again, in honour of Jack Kelly Reid, who raced here spectacularly in season number 1. He was, as I say, just a ferocious competitor that knew how to win, but he also knew how to race as fairly and competitively as possible. And we all know that NASCAR is a no-holds-barred sport. There is no rules against contact. If you want to make contact with someone, you can. Woe betide you. You will suffer the consequences yourself. But yeah, certainly there are some drivers out there that just exemplify just sheer sporting greatness, and Jack Kelly Reid absolutely among them. And it is great to see that the drivers out there honouring him in such a way, because he was, as well, George, as I say, he really was a great all-round guy. He was brilliant on track, he was brilliant in the commentary box, he was phenomenal within the community. It's a huge loss to everyone that knows him. I mean, we're just a sim racing, we're just playing a computer game here, but he certainly, yeah, he will be missed. He was an absolutely exemplary human being in every single aspect.
Absolutely right. And yeah, the community not not going to be feeling super great not being on the grid without him. So it's a tricky one to deal with. You've lost someone who you've enjoyed spending time with, and we were hanging out for so long for his elusive P1 victory. And this is not to invoke what became quite a funny situation during season 1. It's a somber note because we were so hoping to have him up there. We felt that he deserved it. He had the pace, certainly had the dedication, yeah, like I said, just a shame that we couldn't see him achieve that. Certainly spiritually, he's achieved that in our minds, and yeah, at the moment we just got to wait and have a good race on his behalf for this one, and make sure that we race hard as a result. So for those out there, when you do lose a competitor, a friend, you've got to keep your chin high. You've got to keep on moving. It's, in a way, almost an irony, or even easier in some ways, in sim racing, because we're always about momentum. We're always about moving on and pushing forward. And so, this kind of racing and this kind of sim sports exemplifies that exact philosophy.
Yeah, indeed it does. Indeed it does. We've got one more lap. I think it's only fitting. What we'll do is we'll have a few seconds of silence to honour the memory of Jack as the drivers complete this lap. When we hit the green flag, we will be full go. But until then, if we don't mind, we'll just have a little moment's silence for Jack and for anyone else that was lost over the Christmas period. I know personally. Oh, I nearly caught myself out there. But yes, I do know what it's like to lose someone over Christmas. I've just recently gone through remembrance, so I understand how difficult it is. So yeah, a little moment's silence in honour of Jack Kelly-Reid before we see the green flag. Thank you to the drivers, thank you to the organisers, thank you to the viewers as well. Jack Kelly-Reid, you will be sorely missed. Once again then, RIP Jack Kelly-Reid, you will be missed. But here we go, folks. Season 2 is about to get itself underway. And that is the foot down, and they are off and driving. And it is De Bono who is going to hold on to the lead that he took in qualifying. One of our season favourites, Lucas Blake, tucked in there in second place. It is a beautiful start by everyone, and it's going to be a very nice start indeed for everyone right down the field. It's a beautiful start indeed. We've got everyone pulling into line, so it's yep, there we go. We've instantly got the two lines forming very nicely. The outside line looking to take the lead of the race, and Lucas Blake slips around the outside. He is not one for hanging about here, that's for absolutely sure. And he's instantly laying down a marker. He's got himself up into second, up into first place. Now Boone Blake, though, he has dropped right down to the back of the order. I'm not sure what's going on in there. My running order does seem to be off, but it is Lucas that is absolutely leading the way. He's got a nice little battle going on behind him, which is going to keep him in front. We've got a second line trying to form on the outside, but they've only got two cars there, so it's going to be Lucas that takes us into turn number 4, still with the lead of the race. He's got the number 3, tucked in there behind him, second place, almost causing a bit of a collision. A bit wide with the loose steering here at Daytona, but they're getting absolutely into it now as we form a solid second line out on the outside lane there, and that is going to hold them in good stead. Or is it not? The number 27 just drifting high ever so slightly, doesn't want to be out there too much, using a whole lot of tyres, as Lucas does still lead the way. He's got a solid line in behind him as Buhagiar in the 18 is leading the way on the outside line, looking to challenge for the lead of the race. Nicola Heath and Matthew Serrell both tucked in there very nicely as well. It's been an absolutely solid start for the 75 laps. We'll see how long we go. I'm expecting a limited number of yellow flags around here today, given the nature of the Daytona track. If anything, we're likely to see some issues after the pit stops, or indeed just before the pit stops, when we see the tyres start to fade a bit. It's all going to be about fuel and tyre management for the drivers, and trying to extend out that first stint for as long as possible. A lot of the drivers will be hoping for a yellow flag, of course, because that is the quickest way through the pits, as we get the beautiful front wheel shot. Absolutely love being mounted on this camera, and it is Buhagiar that we are mounted upon. He's battling with Heath and Blake. He's going to go side by side with Blake into turn number 3, and in fact, what a run he's got on the outside line. The outside line often does gather a lot more momentum. He really needs Matthew Serrell to stay tucked right under that bumper, because there is still only 2 of them out there. We need a third car to join that lead, join that group on the outside line. It does look like, there we go. We've suddenly got 2 cars popped in there. We've now got 4 on the outside line, with Lewis Buhagiar got his nose in front. Now that he is out on the outside line. Lucas Blake now being overtaken by Matthew Serrell as well. It is chopping and changing as Lewis drops down into the bottom row. So he is taking the lead on the bottom line. So he's led the charge on the outside line, George, but he's now dropped in and he's taken overall lead on that inside lane. So he's maybe led the drivers on the outside a bit of a merry dance to get himself some slipstream and get himself in front of the main line. But that is Lewis laying down an early marker then. It's him and Lucas Blake, 2 of our main championship protagonists last season, are already first and second, 7 laps into this one, George. It could be a marker for the rest of the season with these 2 out front this early.
It certainly could be. I mean, look how glorious this looks. 17 cars on the grid, all the Xfinities, a mix of different manufacturers as well. Lewis Bourgeois likes to lead from the front where he knows he can do the most damage to his competitors, in a metaphorical sense, that is, of course, until push comes to shove, which it inevitably does in this situation. Searle there trying now around the outside line. He wants to do what Lewis Bourgeois did a couple of laps ago. But keep an eye on Nicholas Heath. He's a dark horse in this race. Behind him, we've got Kieran Lash in the number 19 car, another newcomer to this series. And great to have so many new faces in here. Jared Gilbert, Kieran Lash. We've got Brendan Johnson down there in P16 at the moment. Michael Sanders jumping in as well. And this is where things are going to get really interesting on the back straight.
Indeed, it's exactly where it gets spicy, and as we can see, we've now got 6 cars on the outside line, so they are going to be a very, very competitive. Matthew Searle is the one leading the way. Blake currently sitting in second position. That is a difficult spot to be in for the lifting and coasting. You can see the cars coming off the bend, that little bit of a wiggle as they do try and straighten the cars up. Of course, these cars are designed to turn left a lot, so the wheels are cambered to do so. So is the steering as well. And they do have quite a loose steering column in these cars. Until you've actually driven one, you don't it's difficult to understand just what the drivers are going through in the cockpit, trying to keep the car between the Mayo and the Mustard. Although it's only between the Mustard. Although, yeah, the wall is white, so we'll call that the Mayo on the outside and the Mustard on the inside. As we jump on board with Lucas Blake, you can see the incredible banking here at Daytona. Not the most banked circuit we're going to be at this season. We'll see which one wins the award for that. Tyres will not last, I'll tell you. We've got some overtakes going on in the background, but we're still on board with Lucas Blake. He is now running in 4th place. So he is a slipstream guided missile at the moment, with Matthew Searle and Dylan DeBono now out ahead of Buhagiar and Blake. We're 10 laps in, 10 phenomenal laps so far. Some chopping and changing, a bit of bump drafting. Oh, now who is that running high? That's Llewellyn. Runs himself a bit high and gets absolutely ghosted by Boone Blake. I think Llewellyn's had a bit of a problem there. He is losing pace hand over fist. He is tumbling down the order. I think he's had a bit of a tickle on the wall. But while he tickles the wall, Searle and DeBono, they are going full contact with the bump drafting out in front. We've got Buhagiar and Blake in 3rd and 4th behind them. Rob Tilley's made his way up to 8th place, with Heath currently running... sorry, what am I talking about? Heath is up in 5th. Tilley's now in 6th. It's Lash, Gilbert, Blake and Bradley Austin currently rounding out the top 10. Ryan Llewellyn has settled himself in 12th place. Yes, so he's definitely lost momentum someplace, and he has dropped down the order. No dropping down for the rest of the field, though, as they are actively chasing down Matthew Searle and Dylan DeBono. And behind them, there's almost a 10th of a second. You can see this beautiful use at the front of the car there by DeBono. It just gives Searle that little touch to keep him going, keep that gap sitting at a 10th. Oh, he's got Boone Blake dropping down. He's made up some positions. Gilbert and Tilley swapping spots as well, but Searle having a phenomenal run here at the start of the race to lead us into lap number 12 with DeBono, Blake, Buhagiar following along behind. Buhagiar making up 4 places on where he qualified, so he's got a very, very, very good start to the race. Llewellyn and Blake as well, and in fact Boone Blake is tearing his way through the field as well. He's just taken himself a couple of spots to get himself further up the field. He started 16th, he's now up to 8th place, making his way through the field, almost just under a position per lap, which is not bad progress at all. Jared Gilbert, he started in 5th, he's just dropped down to 6th place as they stay side by side once again. The outside line is waning somewhat. They've been shown the blueprint, George. Lewis led the lead line, took the lead of the race, and just as I was about to say, the lead line has diminished slightly. We now have 6 cars out there, so we've got full Noah's Ark once again. And this is what Daytona is known for, George. Side by side, 2 rows of cars, the outside row, just about getting the job done. And it is going to be so close for the next couple of laps. As you see, the number 10 there, Nicholas Heath, he does seem to be struggling on a couple of these corner exits with his momentum, George, and just wiggling ever so slightly.
Yeah, exactly. And look, Lucas Blake up the middle there. So a new line has formed as Matthew Searle finds himself now in second place. There's a huge accident that's just happened.
Ooh.
Oh, absolutely massive. That'll be a safety car, 100%. They've taken out a back marker as well.
Yeah, they've taken out the wall, the cameraman. Yeah, absolutely everything got annihilated there. And that is our first yellow flag. I didn't think we'd see one for another few laps, but it shows you just how easily it can happen. And that is going to be a lot of cars coming into pits. And what are we now? 14 laps in. Ooh, we might see a whole lot of cars coming in here to get some pit stops out of the way. But yeah, that was a big old crash. Let me just see if I can get another look at that. It was, yeah, Matthew Searle and Daniel Hutchins massively involved in that. I'm just checking a little replay that I've got running as well. And it just, yeah, just a bit of a wiggle on the wall. Don't know why we've gone zoomed in there. A bit of a wiggle on the wall and a whole lot of cars getting caught up in that. Let me see. Oh, yeah, right. It was the number 3. Oh. Yeah, some big incidents there. So the number 3 and the number 27, that was, yeah, Matthew Searle. As we saw, just had a bit of a bump, or took a bit of a bump, and found himself bounced off the wall. Who else got caught in that? Yeah, Daniel Hutchins got caught in that one as well. I think we do have a replay up now, and we can see this is exactly where it all went wrong. Matthew Searle, he's on the inside line here. And then now, does he take the contact? Oh, yeah, the number 1 tries to slide through, and look at the momentum he's got, actually. So he does go ghosting, clean past, and it is in fact, oh, Nicholas Heath tries to come through, catches the back of the car, spins him the wrong way, oh, and then he comes back around the other way, down on the track, and still going backwards. Oh, and it's not, wow, that's, yeah, that's some view of Daytona he's just had there, George. He got to see it from the front, he got to see it from the back, and he got to see it from the side, all in one incident. And as predicted, we have an absolute, as we say here in Scotland, and it's happened in my garden yesterday, a complete rammy taking place in the pit stops, George, as everyone does come filing in, 15 laps in. Not a bad strategy to get some fresh tyres and a bit more fuel on to keep you going.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Might as well. We're on lap 15. We've got 60 more to go. Everyone's going to be taking advantage. Once you see one person jump in, you generally make the decision, okay, he's jumping in. Let's go for it. Let's get on with this, because we're going to see everyone else get an advantage if we don't do it. And yeah, I mean, that incident, we've got to get another look at it from Nicholas Heath's perspective. So there's that launch that Lucas Blake got on through between these two guys. That's what kind of triggered things off. It pushed, I believe, Lewis Bourgeois out to the outside line in essentially 3 wide. So you can see the number 18 on the inside. That's Lewis Bourgeois there at the moment. It must have been De Bono who got forced to the outside line, and hopefully we've gotten the replay in the right place. Otherwise, we'll be sitting here for a little while, but we'll stay on it nonetheless. So this is where things start to go 3 wide here, and you can see that Nicholas Heath wants to follow him on through, and keep an eye on 27 to the left-hand side. It just misses the apex coming through here. Doesn't get the turn in that he was expecting, wasn't expecting to see a car here, and that was all she wrote, unfortunately. Really unfortunate there for Matthew Searle. But, you know, at the end of the day, you have to be aware of exactly where the cars are behind you, and that small rear tap that you can, in fact, get. It doesn't take a lot. And in this case, it took absolutely nothing, and we had a huge pile-up, and I believe Matthew Searle and Daniel Hutchins still in the pit lane getting repairs as a result of that. So both of them taking a big hit, because once one car goes in front, you're more than likely to see them come across, and it happened at the worst spot, just coming onto that huge bank section. There's number 16, Ryan Llewellyn, coming into the pits once again. So Damien Coates also jumping in. But once you have an accident on that banked curve, John, you're going up and you're going down, and you might even be coming up and down again.
Yeah, yes, we call it the yo-yo effect.
Yeah.
One of the joys of having such a camber track, you do yo-yo up and down, and that's exactly what we saw there. As George said, the worst possible time to have an incident at the... Oh, bless me. Oh, that one snuck up from no place. But yeah, certainly in these cars, again, if you've ever driven these cars, you know. If you haven't driven these cars, then let me assure you, taking avoiding action is not happening. These cars have no grip unless they are going in a straight line. It's how they're designed. In fact, as George and Lucas and I were discussing, if you want to throw the driver ahead of you off, all you need to do is sit in the right rear quarter panel, and it completely destroys the aerodynamic grip that they've got and makes the car very unstable, and that itself can lead to incidents. So not only does the contact help the cars off the track, it can certainly getting close enough. The aerodynamic backwash or lack of aerodynamics can certainly make the cars an absolute nightmare to try and get a hold of. As I say, these things are not designed to grip the track in corners. They are the reason with the track being so banked, it's almost as if the cars are still going straight, but that banking can certainly, as we see there with the how steep it is, can bounce you about if you do make mistakes, and the cars become an absolute nightmare to handle unless you're under absolute ideal circumstances. We've seen everyone in and out of the pits, and we're back behind the pace car. We are doubled up, and there we go, the pace car is pulled in, so we're going to see a green flag. And there we go, there is the green, no overtaking on the inside line until we get past the checkered flag, until we get past the checkered line on the track, which we have all navigated. And we've got a new race leader after this. Brendan Johnson has got himself the top spot at the moment. We've currently got Lewis Behadzer in second, Lucas Blake up in third place. Kieran Lash has joined the top 5 procession. Dylan DeBono still in the top 5. He's 5th. Jared Gilbert up to 6th position at the moment. Boone Blake in 7th. Boone's made some solid progress. Oh, and they're going to go 3 wide instantly. Why not? Because we've just had a yellow flag. But they're going to go for it anyway. Nope, they've fallen back into line. We've got 2 lines forming once again. We've got 3 on that outside as Brendan Johnson is now being hunted down by Lucas Blake, Jared Gilbert, all over the back of Lewis Behadzer. He's got a lot of pace here. Oh, and he gives him a tap in the rear, and that's game over. That is another yellow flag. Oh, and that's a big one. Oh, he's going to come back. Oh, he's missed that car, and the 237 has managed to collect another car. He's on the grass. I can confirm that is not a sanctioned pit entrance. He will have to exit again and go around the track. You can't cut the grass there, I'm afraid. But yeah, instantly, we've got another yellow flag. Welcome to NASCAR. And that is how easy it can go wrong. And again, that was almost the perfect highlight of the point I was just making there, George, of the instability caused when a car is at your right rear quarter panel. And that is exactly what happened there. On the right rear, the aerodynamics go, and because he took the bump, he's missed that one on the grass. Use that in the black car there. What an avoidance that is. Oh, and there we go. There was the second contact, sent him right into the pit lane there as well.
Wow.
That was an absolute monster, George.
A huge one. And yeah, that is, I believe, Jared Gilbert going into the side of Lucas Blake. So he's been involved in the accident as well. That's taken out the number 18 car of Lewis Behadzer. So the two who we thought were going to be right in it for the championship being taken out, and you can see the crabbing going on in the car right now as he sort of scoots through turn 3. Very, very painful to see. I mean, Lewis Behadzer at that point was a passenger. Lucas Blake was a passenger. Looks like, Jared Gilbert, I believe, was the... well, let's just double check exactly who that was. I think it was Jared Gilbert. Yes, I think it was the 237. We'll try and get a replay up of that as well, and some onboards as well, because it was
can we get an onboard with Lewis, please?
I think we can, but I mean, we're not going to see too much because he got hit from behind, essentially. So
I just want to see his steering wheel.
Fair enough.
This thing in a straight line.
We'll try and pick up where we ended up, and try and switch onto Lewis's perspective for this. Let's give it a shot here. So Lewis, if we pick him up, and then hopefully, we might just have missed it, unfortunately. I will try and bring that up. Well, there's the aftermath of it. We'll go back again, see if we can bring it up. Yeah, came out of absolutely nowhere. Aerodynamic flaps go up to try and slow the car down. He's been picked up by another car as well on the way through. Nothing that those other cars can do, and a lot of avoiding action as well. Do want to know, was that maybe Matthew Searle that had some really good avoiding action there? We'll try and pick that one up as well, I think, on a cockpit cam.
Yeah, I think style points have just been awarded. Go. We can go straight to the start. Although Lewis driving the car with his steering wheel at 3 o'clock to go right, to go left. That might be style points as well, but yeah, that was a big one there, and it caused a fair bit of damage. Why is that stuck? There we go. But Lewis and the gang back out of the pits. But yeah, was that... Oh, big bounce. Oh yeah, he instantly took to the escape road. Oh yeah, nope. Oh, and he's kept that one going on the outside. Oh, how is the earth is he, man? Look at the extra wrestling on the steering wheel there. The yellow flag kicks in. He manages to sail around the outside there. We did have a car shoot off the grass though. We'll figure out who that was. Yeah, everyone piling into the pits. Absolutely wild. Who went off track? Oh, was it Michael Sanders? Oh no, Michael Sanders with the Colonel Sanders on the back of his car. I like the fact he's leant into that one. Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out who that was. Stop going to zoomed in, please. There we go. Yeah, quite a few of the cars taken to the grass there. All kinds of carnage. Oh, sorry, I'm just watching replays in the background. That was a big one as the cars. We're on lap 20. They are falling into double file again. If I pause this, let me see. Okay, so Lucas Blake managed to pull an absolute worldie of an avoidance as well on that one. Shooting himself across the grass.
Well, Lucas Blake was the one involved in the accident. He was the one first hit. I don't think it was Lucas.
Ah.
But we will figure that out. Safety car lights are off, so we're a couple of corners now away from the restart of the race. I'm sure there'll be plenty of post-race analysis done for both of those incidents, although this one certainly has been the incident of the day so far. If we can find out who did that avoidance, that would be fantastic. But if we can't. We can always take a look at it later on when we inevitably have to talk more about the style points that we're allowed to award. So that is something new this season. Commentators, us in the box, we get to slightly influence the direction of the championship with an extra championship point awarded per round for whoever we think has had a really good race, I suppose, at least deserves the style points, whether it's a Tony Hawk style 720 or whether it's some other antics on track.
Indeed, yes. Worth 10 points over the season, so effectively I think it's worth 2 places in a race. So if someone does bring all 10 points home, we'll do them very well. And there we go, we're racing once again. Green flag has been waved, the cars are back out. It's going to be full throttle. We've got 17 laps without a yellow flag. Then we've got 2 in the space of 3 laps. Let's see if the drivers can keep their powder a bit drier for a bit longer. As Dylan De Bono did well in qualifying, he's now doing well in the race. He's got himself out in the lead. And Boone Blake. So we do have a Blake up in the front two positions. It is Boone Blake who started down in 14th position. Wow, there's a contender for style points. Just, styling out by taking, putting this field to the sword. Wow, my brain backfired hugely there, much like that car did on the last crash. But Boone Blake up at the front of the field. His brother Lucas not quite so lucky at the moment. Himself and Lewis now find themselves entrenched in the mid-pack. They've got some running to get done to catch up again as we go on board with Tilly. He is hunting down Kieran Lash and Jared Williams as we take it on to the bank and the gyro cam again, really accentuating just how much of a tilt there is on this track for the drivers to deal with. The lead group are now comfortably leading. Dylan De Bono looking good out at the front there with Blake, Austin, Hutchins, Williams and Tilley all in close attendance. Tilley looks like he's on the outside line. The outside line is solid there with 4 cars. They're just having a bit of a wiggle. Need to keep it a little bit tighter, a little bit neater on the formation if they are going to catch up and make an impact on that lead pack on the bottom lane. But De Bono and Boone Blake, they are absolutely magnetised to one another now at the moment. They are working in perfect harmony there over into the middle of the track. And I tell you, they are an absolute example of what the drivers need to be doing at this stage of the race. Lucas currently finding himself languishing in the middle of the pack. He does have sight of the back of Lewis Behager, who is going to be one of his main championship rivals this season. I think Dylan De Bono is going to be up there as well, given the pace that he's shown early doors and given the strategy that Boone Blake has shown once again. I mean, George, we saw this last season with Boone. He was no stranger to making up places as the races got on. He didn't always qualify the best, but you could always guarantee at some point in the race he was appearing up in the top 5, and always deservedly so, given his strategy and given the way he managed to avoid incidents and hold the car and his pace and his strategy. He was always one to watch up at the top. And early,
Bradley Austin.
Race 2.
Bradley Austin.
That was close.
That was a 6-inch sub. Might have been a 12, foot long, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, maybe going for a foot long there.
There was a foot long dodge to the left-hand side and a correction of just about a foot long back as well. But that was a close one. But I completely agree. Boone has been a strategist in Season 1, and he continues to execute on that. I mean, the results haven't really come his way, so the final part of the execution hasn't always worked out. He hasn't really been wanting to vie for the top spot. He's not overly competitive. He's not thinking, okay, I want to win this championship. That may well have changed. All he needed to do really was to start executing on good strategy calls. He's got his brother he can work with, not to say that they do, and they probably don't, given the way that brothers usually are. But, I mean, certainly this has been a nice, clean run for him. Maybe got a little bit fortunate with where he's positioned throughout those couple of crashes that we had at the beginning of the race. But certainly now he's in the box seat, and with Dylan De Bono right ahead of him, well, Dylan De Bono is the fastest man, maybe not on track at the moment, but he was certainly in the lead for qualifying. So, you know, got to keep an eye on him. At some point he may decide he's going to put the foot down and really start to accelerate away, but Boone's in a great place now. He's got that inside line. There's a couple of cars between him and the outer line that has been forming at the moment behind what I believe is Bradley Austin out there in the 91 car. Just Jason Hutchins, sorry. But there is a comeback happening right now as we speak.
Indeed there is. They're all making moves through the field. De Bono is now being chased by Hutchins. De Bono's now being chased by Hutchins. Blake finds himself down into third. Damien Coates is making moves as well. The pack has come back together very closely indeed, and it's good to see 26 laps in, and we've still got the entire field within a couple of seconds, apart from, of course, Matthew Serrell, who is, at the moment, I believe, is he a lap down?
He appears to be a lap down. He's 49 seconds, so he is a lap down, but not quite. He's just below it. He's 1 second below it, John. 1 second.
Yep. 1 second off. So, he's 1 second off the lead car, but he is about a lap down, so he will be looking for the old Joker lap. Not the Joker lap.
I was about to say something. It's something dog related.
The lucky dog. There we go. Dog. You'll get the lucky dog.
I was about to add a very different adjective in front of that.
Definitely don't want to do that. But yeah, he'll be looking for the old lucky dog if we do see another yellow flag. And I think we are likely to see another yellow flag since we've seen 2 so early. We'll see how the drivers go on though. De Bono and Boone Blake still up at the front with Austin and Tilley third and fourth. Behager's made his way back up to 5th. Whereas Lucas Blake has dropped down to 14th position. So he is sitting at the back of the pack at the moment. We're not even at the halfway mark of the race, so he's still got plenty of time left. But he'll be certainly... Whoa, the outside line almost touching the wall there. Oh, how did they survive that? They're going to go 3 wide along the straight. This is going to be an interesting one when they do pull into the curve. We've got a car right on the paint there. He can't be turning in when he's there. And if he does, he's going to have a serious grip on that wheel, which he firmly does. The top two are still absolutely working in Congress beautifully here. Oh, bit of a wiggle at the back there. Oh, we've got a spinner. Oh, wow. Talk about style points. That was a full 1080 spin. That is a yellow flag. And that was... yeah, here comes the pace car again. So another...
I think that was Brendan Johnson. By the looks of it, I mean, his car is completely totaled. Nicholas Heath also went off the track as well. So he may be in a bit of a sorry state as well. Yes, he is. Let's try and get a replay up of this, John. We'll see if we can piece together what's just happened there. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, let's have a look.
So that is Gilbert in the 237 car. He's had a wiggle and he's gone in to Brendan Johnson and Nicholas Heath and caused this one.
Yeah, Nicholas Heath, absolutely forlorn there. Nothing much he could do. 721 way, and again, you can see just how much the car is crabbing. Almost looks like a fancy lowrider there. The car with the back end sticking out again. The work on the steering wheel at the moment by Heath is going to be absolutely incredible, just to keep the car going in a straight line. Yeah, as you can see, he's fully steering to the right to go left, George, and the back end of the car is still—it's just wild.
Yeah, this is hooligan level style points right now. I mean, he's driving the car sideways. It looks certainly very impressive from the air when you have a look at it. I mean, I'm sure the feelings inside the cockpit right now are probably not quite as excitable as that, but certainly there's some style points involved in anyone driving a car in that sorry state back to the pits, and let alone making it through into the pit entrance, which we will, unfortunately for his sake, we'll watch all three of these guys do. Because it is entertaining. Looks like they've handled that pretty well, actually, if I'm completely honest with you. And a whole flurry of pit lane activity as well to boot. So there we go. No surprise at all. Who's still out there? Boone Blake, Ryan Llewellyn deciding it's worth staying out.
Yeah, and there is Matthew Serrell getting his lucky dog. So he will, yeah, he is now catching up to the back. So he didn't have to wait long. That's Matthew Serrell now back on the lead lap. He's getting the wave around, so he is completing a lap. He will catch up to the back of this pack when they all come out with the pits, and they are all coming out of the pits. Another quick stop. We are just before the halfway mark. Of course, Serrell is going to be spending a bit of extra time getting repaired. There we go. He's back out and running as well. The pit entrance is absolutely jam-packed. Oh, it just has that wiggle, and oh, nicely done. Nicely done, my goodness gracious me. Oh, wow. There you go. Clear up on aisle 3. That was... I mean, it just...
Oh, dear. Actually, looks like Gilbert has lost the rear end. He's touched Jared Williams briefly, who's then, unfortunately... Well, fortunately for Jared Williams, he's continued, but it sent Gilbert's car into a spin. That's had collision with Nicholas Heath, and unfortunately Daniel Hutchins was picked up as a result of it. As really unlucky, but on the positive side, Lucas Blake was able to somehow stay out of that melee, even though he was right in there at that point of the race. So pretty lucky for him, and his brother at the moment leading the race. We're coming up close now to halfway through, not too far away until we hit that point, but Boone and Ryan have not pitted as yet. I think this is going to be pretty critical for them. They're going to be on slightly worse tyres, and maybe they're just working to this number, working to that strategy.
Yeah, it's a bold strategy to stick to the strategy when we've had this many safety cars as well, this many free passes to get yourself into pits, especially this close to the halfway mark of the race. 31 laps in. By the time we get going again, we're pretty much going to be at the halfway mark, so we'll see when they decide to come in. But yeah, bold strategy indeed. I mean, if they can nurse these tyres, I mean, although in saying that bold strategy, we've had 3 safety cars already, so it's an average of 1 every 10 laps at the moment, so certainly they could be banking on getting themselves another yellow flag in time for them to come in and pits and just try and nurse these tyres for as long as possible. It could certainly work, but George, if I was in that pack, I wouldn't be feeling overly confident knowing that the two drivers leading us off, they're on diminished tyres at the moment, and everyone behind them is going to be on absolutely fresh rubber. So going through the corners, it is going to be an interesting dynamic as the drivers try and find their place out on track, again, with the worn tyres on the drivers leading the way.
Yeah, precisely right. I mean, for Lewis Bourgeois, this has been absolute gold. He's now effectively sitting second place, or first in terms of the people who have come into the pits. He's up there with Dylan De Bono. So it's back to even Stevens, you could say, more or less what we had at the beginning of the race for the qualifying grid, except that Lucas Blake is not in there. Rob Tilley, who has been saying that he's been the spiritual host of Lewis Bourgeois and is responsible for all his success through season 1, is out there on track in 5th position. Also sensibly decided to come into the pits as well. Bradley Austin right there on debut here in season 2 of the TRL Oval Series. Pit car is gonna get itself off track. We're about to get started once again.
More green flags waving, and we are away again. It's Llewellyn. Once again, Boone Blake in second place, but you can see just how much more grip they've got on the tyres. That is Lewis Bourgeois absolutely pushing the back of Boone Blake, and they have gone their way through into the lead. Oh, and they're going to go 3 wide. You need to watch those worn tyres. Yep, the 3 cars on the inside. I've got those, bar 2 of those cars have got better grip, and you can see just what happens with the lack of grip there as De Bono drops down. Llewellyn dropping down. He's now side by side with Tilley, and it's Boone Blake who has the overall lead. So it's Bourgeois chasing Blake, but it's Boone Blake that he is chasing. Lucas has made his way back up to 10th after that last incident. He was down in 14th place. Oh, and we've got Jared Gilbert with a black flag. Oh, Jared Gilbert has broken the terms and conditions of usage of the pit lane, and he finds himself down the grid. He finds himself back in the pits for a drive-through. It's Boone Blake leading the way. Very strangely, I've got completely different liveries to you, George, which is why I'm getting extra confused with what's going on. Boone Blake, Dylan De Bono, and Lewis Bourgeois are the top 3 cars, though. Ryan Llewellyn still tucked in there. He's on the outside line. He's about to lose more positions. He's going to be leading the outside line on worn tyres. Yes. Not the position I'd like to be in an Xfinity. That is for absolutely sure. Looks like he is in the Toyota. He is going to have some fun out there in that bad boy, that is for sure. It is Blake leading the way, De Bono second, Bourgeois up into 3rd place. Lucas Blake still down in 12th position. We've got Michael Sanders dropping down the order. In fact, Blake's has been overtaken by Cooke, so Lucas Blake certainly playing the long game at this point. If he is going to bring home the race win, we'll see how he gets on. But it is his brother that is leading the way at the moment. De Bono second and Bourgeois in 3rd. We've got not much of an outside line forming. Certainly not towards the front of the pack anyway. They're trying to get close now along this back stretch to see if they can in any way encroach on the bottom row's dominance here. They certainly can if they get enough cars behind there. They will get enough momentum going after 2 laps. They will be absolutely flying if they can keep it in Congress. Unfortunately, at the moment, that doesn't seem to be the case, and this bottom line is absolutely running away with it. As you can see there, Lewis Bourgeois on the bottom row, holding 3rd place. So the best position we've got out on that outside line at the moment is battling for 3rd. Boone Blake still holding it together. Lucas Blake down in 12th place after starting in 2nd, so he's tumbled down the order. Matthew Serrell back on the lead lap, and Jared Gilbert, he is in absolute no man's land after serving that drive-through. So he has got a lot of time to make up, more chopping and changing in the field, but it's still Boone Blake who is solidly leading the way up at the front of the field. Let me just grab that so you can see that afterwards. Bourgeois in 4th place, but Boone Blake, once again, he's going to be absolutely sweating bullets, as we say, George, out at the front of the field. We know he's got the pace and the strategy, and he's always done well the race, but it's not often we've seen him leading the entire pack, and he is doing a magnificent job at the minute with De Bono, Llewellyn and Buhagiar tucked just in behind him.
Yeah, De Bono did a really good job to put himself back into that left-hand side group there in front of Buhagiar as well, so that was really clever of him. He was stuck on that outside for just a little bit of time, but got the overspeed. The side draft did him wonders in this case, and so now he gets to attack Boone Blake, but he's going to need Ryan Llewellyn to catch up. He's going to need Ryan to be right there or just a little bit closer to maybe give him the edge. So he'll need to see that Ryan Llewellyn is ahead of Lewis Buhagiar by a little bit of distance, and then just as long as there's no overlap, he could potentially take the outside line and use that to his advantage. Lewis Buhagiar would potentially be stuck then behind Boone Blake for a little bit of time. That's exactly what's happening right now, but I think De Bono is just quite happy to stay exactly where he is. He knows that Lewis Buhagiar is going to have those good tyres as well and can push him ahead. Working in this group of 5 that they've developed on the left-hand side, the left-hand pack number 1, lane number 1, I think it's called. You can correct me if I'm absolutely wrong, which I probably am. That is the place to be right now, although I have to say Ryan Llewellyn and Jason Hutchins doing well at the moment to hold on to this groove, and that side slip is just doing enough to keep them in this fight. Oh, that's a slow car in the background. Brendan Johnson has had some sort of issue.
Oh yeah, he has. He's hit the wall big time. But yes, no, unlike your pronunciation of Miami or Livery George, you were exactly spot on. That is lane number 1. See what I did there?
Yeah. I'm always happy not to add something to the list of things that I'll never live down.
My list of regrets is long enough. Thank you very much, my friend. So there we go. Yeah, quick statement from TrackSpotTV there. But yeah, certainly the lane number 1 is where all the action is happening at the moment. Lane 2 does have 3 cars out there, but again, if they can get that up to even 4 cars, they really will start making an impact on that lead. If not, they're going to find themselves falling further and further back. Certainly, as you can see there, Buhagiar has got an easy job keeping side by side with Llewellyn at the moment. Hutchins and Lash just swapping positions there as well. So the timing tower chopping and changing as these 2 lanes. Oh, that was almost a bit of a wiggle from the Toxic car there. He has survived. Who's that in the number 5? Daniel Hutchins. Oh, was that Ryan Llewellyn having a bit of a wiggle there as well?
Oh, he was in the wall there, so he's lost a lot of pace down now next to Kieran Lash in the number 19 car. But, I mean, Llewellyn's still in a good position, just needs to keep that foot down and not run wide.
Indeed, yeah, needs those tyres to last, but they're really, when is he going to come into the pits? There's a few of the drivers, you said, a couple of drivers not been in as yet, and they're going to need to make their way in, you would think, pretty soon. What we're on now, lap number 39, so we're well beyond, we've gone beyond the halfway mark, and yep, for anyone that's done the quick maths, we are due another safety car any moment now. We've had one every an average of 10 laps. Oh, and there we go in the background. Oh, and they're bouncing off the wall. That is the Toxic car once again. Let me just figure out. Oh no, he's massively down the order. Yeah, who is that? Is that the number 5? It is indeed. The number 5 is Daniel Hutchins. He does seem to be struggling on those corner exits. I'm not sure if it's the Colonel Sanders machine ahead of him. And he's now dropping pace, in fact. So Hutchins has clipped the wall a couple of times. He's really struggling on these corner exits with the slipstream that he's getting afforded from the car ahead. And that has bounced him off the wall. And he is now hemorrhaging positions to the cars ahead. The cars ahead still absolutely getting it done. It is De Bono who is still chasing Boone Blake, and the outside line is now starting to make some progress, or is it? No, it's not. Just as it looks like it is, they drop back down to 4th place. We come out the corner, they get themselves up to 3rd. There we go, we've got 4 cars getting themselves nice and close. Llewellyn looking to join, we've got another car looking to join that outside line as well from a bit far back, though. The top 3 still as you were. 41 laps in to round number 1 of season 2 of the Tasman Racing League Oval Series. 17 cars still on track.
Yes, indeed, 17.
And we've got
Jared Gilbert, though, and this is something that I wanted to call out. We are probably not that far away from Jared Gilbert becoming, well, I don't even know how to describe it, but a rock in the waterfall. Is that the right comparison? I'm not sure. Maybe someone can come up with a better one. But he is going to become part of this situation very, very quickly. He's only a corner ahead now on track, and these guys are rapidly catching him up. His last lap time there was 51, so these guys are catching up by 2 seconds a lap right now. So he is well going to be caught by the time this race finishes, and given how close the field is, Jared's going to have basically one option, is to pull over to the side of the road and try and find a gap where the 2 lanes are not there. I'm not seeing much of a gap here, John.
Yeah, I'm not seeing much of a gap either. Sorry, George. Sorry, my apologies. I've just jumped out my skin. Sorry, it looks like there may be a continuation of yesterday at the moment. Can you take over for just a moment or two, and I will be straight back to you, my friend. My apologies.
Absolutely, no worries at all. So we'll keep an eye on what's happening at the front at the moment. Boone Blake from De Bono. Lucas Blake, though, has been losing positions. I don't know if he's still running some damage or if he's just trying to save fuel. There could be a few things that are in Lucas's mind right now. He will have planned to have been in an incident today. It's just the nature of Daytona. Nicholas Heath there, just running a little bit wide of the apex in the number 10 car, the very pink car that you can see on track. All pink as opposed to the number 8, which is just ahead of him. But Lucas Blake probably saving fuel at this stage, expecting another safety car to come in. And he could find himself in a position to reduce the number of pit stops in this race for himself and find a way back up into this top pack. Of course, he qualified right towards the top of the pack. And that incident with Gilbert earlier on, unfortunately, sent him right to the back and with a lot of damage to the car, which he no doubt has repaired. Here goes the number 91, Jason Hutchins, with a little bit of a push on Ryan Llewellyn, launches Ryan forward, but nearly causes a bit of a disaster there. Anything that happens up the front is going to have massive collateral damage down the rest of the field. Ryan Llewellyn on the outside line does lose a little bit of that pace, but he's close enough to De Bono on that left-hand side to find himself with a little bit of extra slipstream. I'm really impressed right now with what Boone Blake is doing. He's holding on beautifully, and De Bono and Lewis Bourget don't seem to want to attack at this stage of the race. I think everyone is hoping, with 30 laps now left in this race, that there is no more massive incident that they're going to be involved in. But how long are these tyres really going to last? Lap 14 is when Boone Blake pitted. So these tyres are 31 laps old at the moment, and that surely is reaching the limit of their capabilities. Nonetheless, it doesn't look like it's having any effect on his Xfinity at the moment. So impressive work by him. Lewis Bourget closing in. Ryan Llewellyn losing a bit of that time now as we see the number 91, Jason Hutchins, just dropping off the back of him, so cost himself a couple of tenths of a second in those last couple of laps. And Lewis Bourget is going to have to find himself, attacking at some point if he wants to win this race. He knows he's got 2 very good competitors ahead of him. So that's something he'll be keeping an eye on. So we're in a bit of a lull of the action right now. Looking back here, we've got Lucas Blake. He's made a couple of overtakes there. Just got the number 4 behind him at the moment. Number 5, I should say, Daniel Hutchins, who's been, unfortunately, a passenger in a number of incidents throughout today's race. As number 10, this is interesting because Heath is going very wide in these corners. Has managed to get past the number 8, though. So he's got an opportunity now to put some pressure on Kieran. Kieran Lash in the number 19 car. The white, blue and red car you're seeing there on the inside pictures, and Heath now going for it. This is a huge push of speed we're seeing from Nicholas Heath. He is on a massive charge through the field right now. Keep a very, very close eye on this one. He's managed to get past the number 91, Jason Hutchins, dispatched with relative ease in this case. And as you can see, this is what I was predicting. Jared Gilbert now enters the fray at the front of the field. He is going to be sweating. He's been involved, in fact, arguably may have caused a couple of the incidents. These guys are going to be catching him up and probably have at least 10 or 15 kilometers an hour on him. He's going to pull to the top part of the circuit and try and avoid being involved. But Llewellyn doesn't realize that's the case and gets stuck behind him, puts himself in a horrid position as the number 10 excuse me, dives down the inside. So Ryan Llewellyn got himself caught out, decided to stick it behind the back marker. That was a huge mistake. Needed to file in, and now he's caught himself out of position with no lane to assist him at all. Jason Hutchins also getting stuck and caught out as well. And at this point, oh dear, I think there's going to be a few out there who are going to be thinking about that pit stop pretty soon. Boone Blake, surely one of them. And surely we're going to see Ryan Llewellyn having a good think about that too. Luckily for him, he's now got Jared Gilbert in behind him in that second lane, but he's definitely lost a couple of positions as a result. Nicholas Heath having a think about that second lane. Does he want to join? Does he want to help out Ryan? Or does he want to just hang here behind Lewis Bourgeois for now? Bear in mind that Nicholas Heath, his tyres, I have to admit, are probably looking the worst of all of them. He is slipping and sliding to the left and to the right, not making any of those apexes. Not looking good at all for Nicholas Heath, but he's managed to put the foot down and really go for it. We've got Warren Baker in the chat saying, need a yellow, and looks like some tyres have gone. Yeah, for those who haven't pitted yet, a yellow right now would be absolutely excellent. And of course, as the tyres do start to wear out, we increase the risk substantially of that actually happening. You see Jared Gilbert has now got himself officially out of the way. So Jason Hutchins moves back up into that 5th position ahead of Nicholas Heath. And behind him, I believe that is Michael Sandy, making some good progress on debut here in the Oval Series. Wonderful to see so many cars here on the track. The Xfinities are glorious, and they've got a massive top speed as well. Trucks had absolutely smashed it in Season 1, but the Xfinities are extremely exciting. More modern machines as well. Definitely makes for some fascinating viewing. Of course, a complete change up to the strategy as well, so that's something that the drivers will have all been aware of in the background. Let's take a look around the rest of the grid. There's the 151 and the 19 nearly side by side with the number 8. So keep an eye on Rob Tilley. He's a man who's been hopeful to get a good win at some point. Jared Williams behind him at the moment. Him and Lucas Blake probably the ones on the grid hoping most for another yellow at this stage. If they don't get it, they're going to be in a situation where they're going to have to make some serious overtakes and seriously quickly. So as the top of the grid starts to compact, Boone Blake starts to eke out a small lead with the Bono falling back slightly, still under pressure from Lewis Bourgeois. And of course, Ryan Llewellyn on the outside line, getting a big slipstream and launching himself through into turn 1 with Nicholas Heath now in train, who wants to help him out. Heath wants to make some overtakes now. He's going to make something happen. He's forcing these drivers at the front to drive faster, as he is going to be helping Ryan Llewellyn make this happen, and it may be happening sooner rather than later. We'll check in with John and see if he is back and sorted out his issues. If he's not, then I will, of course, continue. And by the sounds of it, he is still having a couple of issues on his side, so I'm sure he'll be getting that sorted out in short order. Now, there's an opportunity there through turn 3 for Ryan Llewellyn. Nothing, unfortunately, has come of it at this stage, but this top battle, the top 5, starting to get very intense with a Nicholas Heath on a charge. Ryan Llewellyn just hoping that he doesn't get bad contact, and Ryan Llewellyn has had the overlap. He's had enough of the overlap to put himself in front of Boone Blake, and these are the two guys, remember, who did not go for that pit stop after the last yellow. Lap 18 for Ryan Llewellyn, lap 14 for Boone Blake. They've been out there for a huge number of laps. Clearly the tyres can take it. The rest of the field pitting on lap 29. Much fresher tyres, but they can't do anything about it because the slipstream with these cars is keeping these two in contention, and now Blake wants to work with Llewellyn and try and build that gap as much as they possibly can. The Bono going to have to find some legs in this situation, and unfortunately for Heath, he's been left absolutely cold. Hung out to dry by Ryan Llewellyn, the leader of that second pack, now the leader of the race. So what can Heath do? He's going to be wanting to find someone to work with him, probably going to try and entice Lewis Bourgeois to do so, but Lewis has been keeping calm throughout this, and I don't think he'll be looking to make any kind of significant move until maybe we see a yellow late on in this race. Keep an eye on Lucas Blake. He's up to 9th now. He's putting the foot down, wants to work with Jared Williams, moving through the middle part of the first lane, and try and find some positions, because I think they can smell some blood in the water and potentially something happening very soon. Heath finally finds his way back in to the lane 1 pack here behind Lewis Bourgeois, opening up an opportunity for Jared Williams on the outside line, followed by Damien Cooke in the number 17. These two going to be the new formation of the second lane of the grid, and they'll be finding themselves up potentially with Llewellyn and Blake. That's Boom Blake in a number of laps here. Lap 54, it's all still to play for, but you can see the 2 and the 16 at the front, their tyres are starting to look rather worse for wear. They're not finding the grip to get themselves correctly into the apex of these corners any longer, and that is going to cause them to slip back into the clutches of De Bono and now Williams leading the second pack. Here we go, side by side. Keep an eye on Heath. He has run a number of times, dipped the toe onto the apex on the apron just there. He's run into the middle of the road a number of times earlier on. You can see him doing it yet again as they come across the start-finish line. He is going left to right and left to right. That's going to make a very uncomfortable situation for Damien Coates, who wants to hang it as close to these cars as possible. Now a decision for Nicholas Heath. He's got just enough space to move in front of the number 4 car, who's done very, very well to bring himself up. I think that's a discrepancy there. I don't think it is the number 4 car. We'll double-check exactly who that is. I think it's Brendan Johnson, who was there briefly. He'll be forming the third person in lane 2 for the foreseeable future, because there's now no opportunity for Nicholas Heath to get himself back into that second lane, which he used to have an incredible charge up the field. Here comes number 51, number 51, Michael Sanders. The Colonel himself will be trying to make some progress here today. But a nice pack of 5 on the inside line with Kieran Lash just hovering at the moment. But Nicholas Heath still trying to make his mind up of which lane he really wants to be in. I think he might be trying to force Daniel Hutchins. That's not Daniel Hutchins, sorry. That is Brendan Johnson, number 64. Trying to force him offline and to not get as much of an advantage in the corners. That would be what I'm thinking at the moment. We'll see if that's exactly what he's doing. Either way, Hutchins finds himself yet again more or less off the inside line, nowhere near the apron, doesn't want anything to do with it. It's going to cost him a little bit of speed, though, as he dives up towards that second line. You see he's doing it yet again. For whatever reason, not 100% sure why, but he is doing it. Got to be careful of the number 19 car. If he gets an overlap, it's going to be game over. So here comes that second pack, led by Jared Williams. He's got the overlap on the top 2 now. Bono probably wondering if he should have scooted in front. Got Jared Williams to give him a bit of a push and push him out in front of these 2 guys who have been on the same tyre for so long now. May not be working in their direction at all. I'll tell you, if I was them, I'd be wondering, hey, did someone just have a crash? Just someone just make a small whoopsie and get that yellow out here, because we need it right now. If they do that, they'll still be in the lead and have come into the pits and have fresh tyres, and that'll be an absolute brilliant situation for them. Nearly an overtake for Jared Williams as he takes the provisional lead of the race, but not for long, because he's going to be on that outside line. But it looks like there might be enough. He's gotten a push again from Damien Coates, and that could be getting close to an overlap on the number 16 car. Ryan Llewellyn may have that stolen away from him in a few moments' time, but outside line, a little bit more distance to go. It'll be side by side as we head through onto the back straight. Once again, here's the shot from track side at the moment. Wow, that is a loud noise as they head through that section of the track, and that is a very awkward moment for, I believe, Boom Blake, who's gone completely off the track. Yes, he has. Boom Blake completely out of the running for the top now, with only, I believe, 17 laps to go in this race. Something has happened there to Boom Blake, and he is now out of the running. Tyres must have given up on him. Ryan Llewellyn is now going to be in a situation where he's got De Bono behind him and Jared Williams next to him, both with fresher tyres. Not ideal at all. Boom Blake actually pulling off because he's into the pits. That is why. It was just a very awkward exit towards the pits. Didn't want to bleed off too much speed. Didn't want to get himself in a situation where he was going to lose too much time on that pit entry. But he has successfully entered the pits. So after having pitted on lap 14, that is 45 laps ago, he's decided, right, the tyres are gone. I've got to make the pit stop. And it's probably a fuel concern as well for him. But you can see Ryan Llewellyn struggling now to get himself back onto that inside line. De Bono is smelling the waters. He's smelling blood. It's the color of number 16. Smells like number 16 in the waters. Let's see if he can hold on. But I think here for Ryan Llewellyn, time is ticking down. Unless there is a virtual safety car this lap, he's going to have to come in You can see Boone Blake just out ahead of them now. He's going to be rapidly caught up by the rest of the pack. Still waiting to see if we can get John back in the commentary box. Hopefully we do get him back. A couple of issues there with his iRacing game at the moment, but got my live stream that he can always jump on and watch as well. We have his dulcet tones in here as well as mine. I'm going to pat myself on the back briefly there. Now, this is a critical moment. Big speed differential between Boone Blake and the rest of the field. Jared Williams, who's been holding onto that inside line, does get past nice and cleanly and doesn't lose any time critically to these top three. A 48.8 there from Ryan Llewellyn, nearly the fastest man on that lap. Bradley Austin with a 48.7. So still going rapidly at the moment. And thank you very much, Warren Baker, for that comment in chat. Much appreciated. Good racing by all. Well done, everyone. Indeed, so far it's been very, very good. A few safety cars, though, and there we go. It was a matter of when, not if. And Ryan Llewellyn has signaled to the rest of the field, I'm going to be pitting. I'm going to pull onto this apron section and not get in the way of anything else that's going on. Whoa! That is a big moment for Lucas Blake. He clips the wall. Might have got slightly spooked by Ryan Llewellyn there, but in the meantime, Dylan DeBono has been overtaken by Lewis Buerger, so a switcheroo at the top. Possibly DeBono getting a little bit caught out by what was going on with Ryan Llewellyn as well, and either way, it's fallen him now to P2 in this race. Damien Coates has moved out from behind Jared Williams, excuse me, in that second lane, and has decided that it's time to run with the top three and not help Jared Williams in this race anymore. Remember, Jared Williams, of course, race winner from season one a number of times, was always up there in the top three, but got very unlucky in a number of races in season one, looking to change that luck this season, of course. And he's still in the box seat right now. A little bit of a moment for Lewis Buerger's connection. That is something that we are well familiar with. Brendan Johnson now behind Jared Williams and going to be the one pushing him forward to see if there's anything that they can do. Another awkward moment coming up. Ryan Llewellyn. He's going to be overtaken in short order. And we do have only 12 laps to go now. And if there's a safety car now, I tell you, Boone and Ryan will be kicking themselves. It was a brave and bold strategy. As we see Daniel Hutchins now out of the race. I know that was just another glitch with the netcode, unfortunately. So, fortunately, he is back in. He is still there. In P14 currently. There goes Brendan Johnson, and looks like Jared Williams has pulled back in to this battle. He wants to be part of it, and he thinks that inside lane is going to be the place to be. I think that's absolutely fair enough, given that there was really nothing happening in that second lane. But, I mean, he's immediately overtaken by the man who was behind him, and that's going to be Jared Williams moving out to go into the pits by the looks of it. Although he's done it very, very late. Maybe it's just a mistake there, but Jared Williams tumbling down the field. He's in the apron. Something clearly wrong. I think he's out of fuel. I think he is out of fuel. He's got himself a black flag as well. So he is due in the pit lane regardless. But given the pace is dropping off completely, I think he's run out of fuel at this stage of the race. That's a disaster for Jared Williams. In the box seat, potentially on for a race win today. Finds himself in a situation where he's not going to be in contention for that race win. So it is Buerger from DeBono. Brendan Johnson leading the second lane there. He's got the number 17 of Damien Coates on the inside line. Lucas Blake up to P7. There he is, the gold and green livery. Sitting in lane one just behind Nicholas Heath, who continues to find this middle of the road approach, scaring the living daylights out of the number 27. And Matthew Searle also back up. So Lucas Blake and Searle back up into this contention. And again, should anything happen in the next 10 laps, there could be a box seat for any of these drivers. Ryan Llewellyn now going to be the cork in the bottle here. And that's an awkward position for him and also for Lewis Buerger. But he's on fresh tyres, so it shouldn't end up being a roadblock in this situation. Although, I have to admit, probably would have been better for Ryan just to get out of the way and filter into the back of the pack. He's He's a full lap down now. And whilst this is definitely helping Lewis Buerger, Bono's going to have to use a little bit more gas, I think, to get himself back up to the rear wing of Lewis Buerger, who does like to take advantage of these situations. But right now, I'm keeping my eye very much locked on lane 2 at the moment. These guys are looking really, really strong at the moment. Boone Blake, of course, is in that number 2 car that you can see right there awkwardly. So we've got 2 guys back markers at the moment in amongst the field at the moment. Jared Gilbert is sitting towards the back of the field at the moment in P17, but I think 15th on the grid right now. Yes, he is. You see the yellow back of his car at the moment just going out of shot. So we'll see what happens. We'll have a quick check-in with John as well. Hopefully things... Oh, there we go. There's been an issue, a big issue. De Bono has spun, and he's picked up Brandon. Yep, Brendan has been picked up as that as well. And unfortunately, traveling the wrong way now is Dylan De Bono. We'll take a look at that, but that is going to be, of course, a safety car. As a result, crikey. Not ideal there, of course. Let's take a little look at the replay. Michael Sanders has found himself off track as well. We'll see what's happened there. And it is... Let's see. Did they make contact? Oh, a bit of contact. Boone Blake. Boone Blake has had contact with Brendan Johnson, which has then sent him careering into Dylan De Bono, taking out our P2 sitter. That is a true disaster. A back marker has gotten loose, and it's taken out P2. Very, very unfortunate. And we may have John back in the commentary booth. We'll check in with him in a few moments' time. But that is a virtual safety car with 7 laps to go. And Ryan and Boone, they got in there. They got in the mix. Boone couldn't find his way out of it. And unfortunately, he has caused a rather large accident at the end of this race. So keep an eye. Let us know who you think is going to take this one. Very, very hard to tell, of course, in the situation. Lewis Buerger on for a potential race win in the opener of Season 2 here at Tasman Racing League. Remember, you can go and check us out on the simracerhub.com page. Type in Tasman Racing League. And, of course, check out the YouTube description. You're all watching live here on TrackSpotTV. YouTube description has the link to the Discord for Tasman Racing League. Jump in, get involved. We've got the Road Series happening tomorrow. We've got the Oval Series running, of course, now in Season 2. And a brand new series as well, the IndyCar Series. So jump in. It is a very exciting time to be part of Tasman Racing League. Into the pits comes our race leader, Lewis Buerger. He's going to be in there with Damien Coates and a number of other drivers. So a critical time for them to come into the pits. Looks like the number 10, Nicholas Heath, wants to stay out. This could potentially be a very good move. We'll see if it works out for him. Number 19, Kieran Lash, and Rob Tilley, all staying out as well. So this may be coming in to sort out any fuel issues they've got. Lewis Buerger pulled the trigger on that one, and he has found himself potentially out of position. So hopefully this was a necessary stop. He might have been expecting everyone to jump into the pits at the same time as him. Unfortunately, not everyone has decided to do that. And that puts our very pink number 10 car right at the front of the pack. Boone will get to unlap himself, I do believe. That's the number 2 car you can see there. Fortunately, having to report that he was responsible for that incident we've just seen a few moments ago, which we will try and pull up on a replay. Assuming we can find it once again. I think we will be able to find it somewhere. We'll see if we can get a good view of it going forward. So here we go. So keep an eye now on the number 2 car. You'll see just makes a little bit of contact with Brendan Johnson. Tiniest bit of contact as we come through this corner, I do believe. Assuming we're at the right part of the replay. Keep an eye on the number 2. Getting a bit of time, and that's going to be the contact right there. You can see the smallest wiggle that it's induced in the 64 car. But it's enough, and it's sent him directly into the path of others. Looks like Matthew Searle was also caught up in that as well. Brendan Johnson making his way to the back of the pack, trying to catch up before we go back racing for what's going to be potentially only the last few laps of this race. 6 to go at the moment, and we'll be under safety car for at least one more by my calculation. Yep, at least one more at this stage. We'll see if the lights on the pace car do go off at the end of this lap that we're just coming up to the end of now, crossing the finish line there with the yellows flashing. And yep, it's going to be this lap, and then we're going to be back to racing once again. I'm assuming that'll clear Boone Blake. Yes, it does. So he gets to go on through now. And that puts the provisional order back in the way that we expect it, with Nicholas Heath, Kieran Lash, Rob Tilley not pitting on this safety car. And pull up the graphic for that so you can see lap 29 for the top 4. Daniel Hutchins actually included in that as well. So Ryan Llewellyn has found his way up ahead of Lucas Blake. Lucas Blake actually winning the battle of the pit stops there. Lewis Buerger is in 8th position. So this has been a big switcheroo for Lewis Buerger in this race. 1st to 8th during the pit stops. Certainly not ideal for him at all. And right now, Lucas Blake is the freshest tyres out of the top 6. Ryan Llewellyn still with very fresh tyres as well. But there are 4 cars ahead of them at the moment. Daniel Hutchins, Rob Tilley, Kieran Lash, and Nicholas Heath. And these are going to be the guys to watch. And I believe John will be returning to the comms box in a few moments' time, so keep an eye out for that. We're just having a quick look at what it looks like being right at the front of this pack. That is exactly what it looks like right there. Scary moments, nervous moments, I'm sure, for Nicholas Heath, who was charging on through the field. Made his way through beautifully, a late charge, in fact, all the way through to get himself up into a nice position, but it's the pit stoppers who were ahead of him. He was down in, I think, P6, P7. Finds himself now back up and in the race lead with Kieran Lash right next to him. And to defend Rob Tilley and Daniel Hutchins, all on very old tyres at this stage. So the pace car will be out soon. He'll be off track. There he goes. We'll be away in a few moments' time. We've got 5 laps of racing ahead of us to finish off Season 2's first round. There we go. We are racing once again. Green flag on the track. Nicholas Heath in the lead. And that's going to be Kieran Lash trying to pull in and get ahead of Rob Tilley. Rob Tilley needs to hold on to Nicholas Heath at this stage. But look at Dylan DeBono. He's gone for the inside line. Lewis Buerger trying to make it around the outside line, but he's made contact with the wall and slowed himself down. DeBono with a wonderful move on Llewellyn early on. These two need to make positions. They've pitted just a few moments ago. And ahead of them, cars that pitted for the last time on lap 29. They're going to have to make these overtakes happen quickly. Lewis Buerger probably in the box seat. He's pushing Kieran Lash up into the lead of this race, and Nicholas Heath can't do anything about it, but he's got the inside line. They're touching. A little bit of contact there. Nicholas Heath not given the room by Lewis Buerger. Lewis Buerger not aware that there was still a car right there. Oh, big contact. And it's another safety car that'll be coming out onto the track. There it is. I think that's picked up a number of drivers. We'll get an eye on who that was, but I think that was the number 8 of Rob Tilley. Yes, it was. And so, once again, we always say it, safety cars breed safety cars. Well, it's an absolute safety car mess right now as a number of drivers try and sort things out. The number 5 is at a dead stop. The 151's gone for a spin. Matthew Searle, the 27 car's nearly dead last. And Rob Tilley, who was staring at 3 cars ahead of him to the pole position, has had an accident and triggered the safety car yet again. Oh my goodness. It's always exciting at Daytona. There's always something going on. And once again, it has certainly been the case. Let's try and take a look at the replay. See exactly what's happened here. So keep an eye on the pink and black car. Oh, DeBono has touched the rear end of his car, and that's an enormous accident. The number 1 car, the 27, the 237, the number 5, all involved in the action. I think that's Brendan Johnson as well, who was sent to the Shadow Realm, was sent to the pit lane in this case. So, an absolute cluster of incidents there. Oh, look at that car making its way back. That is Matthew Searle, who was also involved in that one. Oh, that's absolutely terrifying. We'll try and get some onboard shots of what that looked like from behind. And this is going to be Lucas Blake's perspective. The accident's going to come out of absolutely nowhere. He's managed to avoid it. Oh, until that moment there, and another car has come cutting across for the second time. Lucas Blake has thought he's avoided the action and has then been picked up by yet another car. Flurry of pit activity now to get these cars repaired before the final few laps. And once John's back, he'll have to remind me of the rules that we have in terms of the safety car. I don't think we can call a safety car towards the last couple of laps of this race, and I don't think the safety car is going to be going anywhere for at least one lap. So we might even have a race extension here. We'll keep an eye on it. Hopefully we'll welcome in John back into the commentary box right now. There he is. And John, 2 safety cars in 5 laps. It's completely changed the order at the front. We've had back markers getting involved. We've had front markers on fresher tyres, or former front markers on fresher tyres, crashing into cars on older tyres who were then leading the race. And now we've got Nicholas Heath, who pitted last on lap 29, with Lewis Bourger right behind him on fresh tyres, and Ryan Llewellyn and De Bono, who was the trigger of this latest safety car on lap 73.
Wow. Yeah, so it's all kicking off. All kicking off here and there. Excellent stuff. So let me just apologize. I'm slightly out of breath. I'm not as fit as I used to be. So we'll have a green and white checkered flag to end the race. We might get an extra lap to run that. It depends when the safety car comes in. But if it comes in at the start of lap 75, there will be a green and white checkered flag that is waved. For anyone that doesn't know what a green and white checkered flag is, that is full gloves off. That is no holds barred. There is no rules. If there is any contact, if 90% of the field are wiped out, the 10% that are still going will keep going, and they will be declared the race winner. So as soon as the green and white checkered flag waves, there is no more yellow cars, no more yellow flags or safety cars, no matter what happens out on track. So the running order that we've got at the moment could be the one that crosses the line. It might not be. We could still see Jared Williams and Brendan Johnson win this race if Heath, Buhagiar and Llewellyn get themselves involved in a contact, and we are still under yellow. So yeah, the safety car is going to come in at the start of the final lap, George. We'll see a green and white checkered flag, and it will be, as I say, no holds barred. There is no yellow flags or safety cars when we've got a green and white checkered flag. So this is going to be a straight run to the end of the race. So the cars that have pitted latest are absolutely in the best position here, because they've got the tyres to make this one lap sprint. It's basically a one lap sprint to the end now, George.
Fantastic. Well, that puts Lewis Bourger solidly in that top spot. He's got to get past Nicholas Heath, but they'll be side by side in the restart, so the advantage will be with him. He has the fresher tyres by a significant margin. I think we'll bring up the pit lap in a few moments' time. Yeah, 29 was the lap that Nicholas Heath pitted on, whereas 6 laps old for Lewis Bourger. So it's worked out beautifully in his direction this time out. They're coming through the back straight right now. Lewis Bourger, he can go hammer and tong on this one. No bars held, because we are going to be with that green and white flag. This is exactly what happened in Season 1, John, and Oval Series. Daytona took us for an absolute whirlwind, and we have seen, I think I've lost count, but 6 or 7 safety cars in this race now, and we're going to be finishing the final lap with a sprint to the end with the gloves very much off.
Indeed, yeah, the gloves will be off. As you say, Lewis has got the much fresher tyres, the one which he's really going to need, because he's on that outside line, and that is not where you want to be, although he does have the Bono behind him. That could be Buhagiar's saving grace here, given the pace that we've seen from the Bono so far. If he can use that pace behind Buhagiar, he could find himself crowning a kingmaker here, with helping Buhagiar to the win and getting himself second place to boot. And here we go. It's a green and white checkered flag. We are away, and that is lap. There is an extra lap, so we have tacked an extra lap on, so we will get 2 laps of racing to bring this one to a conclusion. It is Buhagiar who instantly tears out into the lead of the race. The Bono is second, and Nicholas Heath has dropped down. Lucas Blake has got a black flag, and we've got a yellow flag.
Accident. It's another yellow flag. Yeah, it's Damien Coates and I believe Bradley Austin have had a huge accident off the start. of this. Yes, they have. So we're back to yellow flag
so
conditions again.
Yeah, so it wasn't a green and white checker. My apologies. They did just run the extra lap. Sorry, so we have extra lap on, not green and white checkered.
Yeah, well,
so it's going to be...
The safety car happened on lap 71 or 72. So maybe it wasn't quite within the threshold, but now we certainly will.
Yeah, we absolutely will be. There is a yellow flag out. Are we getting a safety car?
Well, it says we are. Let's take a look at the incident here.
Oh,
dear, oh dear. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. That's Damien Coates. That's what's happened to him. So it's actually an incident that happened a few moments beforehand that's triggered that one. Are they?
Yep, so he is just an innocent bystander there.
Yeah. And where is the safety? There is the pace car. Okay, so we are under pace car conditions. Buerger is in the lead with the Bono there. We can't finish the race under the safety car, surely.
No. Nope, there will be a green and white sprint to the end. The race won't finish under safety car. Unless they've tweaked the rules ever so slightly. But yeah, no, we should be finishing under safety car. We'll get another look at this one again. As we can see, the cars are jostling for position there. And yeah, that inside line got right out the way of it. And the middle lane, you cannot fit two cars in there. And unfortunately, just that little bit of contact. And that is all it takes. The back end of these cars are so light unless... you are pinned flat out. Even when you are slipstreaming, if there's a car behind you, that creates rear end instability in these cars, and it works all the way down the train. The more cars in the train, the less aerodynamics and the quicker they can go. That's why a train of 4 on the outside will go much quicker than a train of 3 on the inside line, and can certainly keep up with a train of 4. But it's a fairly spectacular crash, this one, that's brought it to an end. We're still under the safety car. You can see the top line there, just trying to squeeze 3 cars into one lane. Oh, and that is... Yeah, then there's nothing you can do there either for the 17 who was on the outside line. Tried to... He saw the action, saw the crash happen, saw them bounce off the wall.
John, I have to interrupt. We have finished under safety car.
Oh!
We have actually finished under safety car. So we already had the extension. We were given the white flag during the yellow, and that is it. Race over. Lewis Buerger wins the race and is proceeding with donuts immediately. De Bono and Nicholas Heath pick up 2nd and 3rd in this race. And that is it. So I guess the fact that we had our extension already has meant that we do not have another extension. And therefore the race finishes under a yellow flag.
Indeed, yeah, it's rare that that happens, to be fair. Usually under a green and white checkered flag they just run. NASCAR is not something that they enjoy doing. The fans do not like it, I can confirm. So it's something that they have tried to avoid. But yeah, certainly a major incident occurs on the last lap. It may end under a caution. That is determined by the stewards. Yeah, so on the lead lap, on the final lap, as you say, on the extension, I did think it would be a green and white checkered, but it's not, and it is Lewis Buerger who lays down a marker. His main championship rival, Lucas Blake, down the order. But Lewis Buerger, all his Christmases have come at once. He's brought home a race win, and he will get to give me stick in the commentary box once again.
He will indeed, yeah. Well, this is what I was saying early on. You know, is it going to be a situation where you guys are going to have at it again? And I do believe that's going to be the case. So look forward to that very, very much in a few moments' time. Here's our race results. And Buerger takes it from De Bono, takes it from Heath. It was a race that was up, down, left, right, sideways, vertically and horizontally. All dimensions of space and time encountered at round 1 and season 2, John.
Yes, indeed. That is exactly what Daytona does. These cars, as I said, the back end, it doesn't pin to the ground. So you're as likely to have all 4 wheels in the air as anything else, especially bouncing off that wall. But yeah, phenomenal drive by everyone. De Bono as well, making a great debut here for Velocity SimLab, finishing in 2nd place, took pole position and managed to hold on to it. And to put that in perspective, Lucas Blake down in 11th place. He has got some work to do already, and the season has only just started. Lewis Buerger giving the engineers the talking to they needed. He had enough go-go juice to get himself to the end. Absolutely on point with his strategy once again, although strategies, I think, went firmly out the window in the closing stages. I missed most of the closing stages, but yeah, a lot of safety cars and some absolute grit and determination from the drivers up at the front of the field, George, to bring home the race wins. Indeed,
yes, and we've got our top three in the comms box ready to go. So I think we'll kick off with our interviews. And first, let's bring in Lewis Buiger, P1, and I'm gonna, John, let you handle all the interviews this time round. So it's up to you. Go take us through and kick off the other rivalry that we have been anticipating for.
Indeed, for quite some time now. Lewis, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and congratulations on season number 2, round 1 win. Daytona absolutely never disappoints, certainly from a fan's perspective, and that was a show that was put on there today. How did you feel the race went for you? Was it as chaotic as you thought it was going to be?
Hello, mate. Yeah, it's quite a chaotic race. I just want to first off start by saying I'm going to dedicate it to Jack.
Yes, good lad.
Definitely missed. But yeah, it was quite a chaotic race. Didn't expect that many safety cars, and I did anticipate a green-white checkered, but I expected it to go the full distance of the green-white checkered.
Indeed, yeah. I was going to mention Jack Kelly-Reid. Of course, you had the privilege of racing with him. He was, as you say, or as I'd mentioned, he was a fierce competitor as well, a great racer. And I'm assuming you had some, you had some good fun battles with him out on track in season 1 as well.
Yeah, pretty sad there. Yeah, it was great racing with him, and just wish he was here to race him again.
Indeed, yeah, indeed, he will be sorely missed. But as you say, dedicated to tonight's race and the win, and a well-deserved win. I've always given you a bit of stick, Lewis, because you've got so much talent, as much as it pains me to say, Mulligan, but you do. There was a couple of times with the field, but you got this one absolutely spot on. We did see a couple of yellow flags early in the race. We saw some drivers come in and some elect to stay out. What were your thoughts when we got so many early safety cars? We saw you coming in the pits a couple of times, but we saw a couple of drivers staying out. Was staying out ever a thought process for yourself?
Yeah, I was, apart from them last 2 safety cars, we were going to stay out. We had enough fuel in the car to run to the end. But that last safety car, I thought it was going to go green, white, checkered, so I decided to come in and throw a couple more litres of fuel in it. But other than that, if it wasn't for them, we were staying out. We had enough fuel in.
Nice, and yeah, it was, as I say, an absolutely solid race win. We've got, it was Daytona this week. We've got a slightly shorter course, Charlotte, next week. How are you feeling ahead of that one?
Yeah, looking forward to it. Lucas goes really well at Charlotte, so we'll see how we go there. But as long as we can just stay up there in the points, hopefully by the end of it, we'll end up in a good spot.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Well, listen, Lewis, congratulations once again. Great race tonight. Great to see you, despite the stick I give you on the top spot of the podium. Congratulations for tonight's race, and best of luck for the rest of the season.
Thanks for that, mate, boys.
Absolutely welcome. There we go then. That was Lewis Buiger, of course, bringing home the race win. In second place, it was our pole sitter, making debut as well, Dylan De Bono. Good evening, Dylan. How are you tonight? Congratulations on the second place and on the pole position as well. Lays down a marker for the new league. How was tonight's action for you?
Yeah, first time coming to race these cars, and certainly a lot of fun. It's completely different to hop lapping by yourself, that's for sure. When you got all these cars around you and you can't see anything, you're just guessing. But yeah, lots of fun.
Yeah, lots of fun. And how did you find your strategy tonight? Obviously, when you're in NASCAR, you're expecting some yellow flags, maybe not quite as many as we had tonight. Did you have yourself a firm strategy coming into this as far as pitting under safety cars, or were you more, let's just keep it fluid and see what happens? Again, the unknown of racing with so many cars in these conditions can make the strategizing just a little bit tricky.
To be honest, my strategy was every time the car in front of me pits, that's when I'm going to pit. And just hope I make it home on fuel. that middle part of the race, I think it was about 30 or 40 laps to go, and I think I was in maybe second or third, and I was just fully fuel saving. And it sort of paid off in the end.
Yeah, it certainly did. A podium on your opening race is not a bad marker for the rest of the season. Speaking of the rest of the season, of course, we're off to Charlotte next for 100 laps there. A slightly shorter, trickier course. Have you got much experience at Charlotte, and how are you expecting, based on what you've seen tonight, how do you think you'll go next week at Charlotte?
To be honest, got no experience at Charlotte. Only time I raced there is on dirt, and that's about all, to be honest. But no, looking forward to it.
Yeah, no, it'll be a good race, and looking forward to see what you can do for the rest of the season, Dylan. Quite the debut for you tonight, and looking forward, as I say, to seeing what you can do not only next week but going on. So congratulations again for tonight's podium, and best of luck for the rest of the season.
Thanks, mate, and also big thanks to Hybridson Sports for the help they do.
Yeah, there we go. Big shout out to them as well. Yeah, thank you to anyone that sponsors anything to do with sim racing. We massively appreciate it. Massively appreciate it. But that was Dylan DeBono in second. Nicholas Heath, of course, finishing in third. We will start off. We won't go with the second question. First off, Nicholas, welcome in. Again, you raced with Jack last season. An absolute character on track and in the Discord, and sorely missed. I'm sure you'll miss the battles that you had with him as well.
It was just quite the shock to see the message that he'd passed away. You know, you're kind of in the middle of other chats and just hanging out and talking shit and all that kind of stuff, and it was kind of unbelievable to hear, really. So at least we kind of paid respects to him with the 2 laps after green, just at the safety car pace and before we got started. So sad to hear it.
Indeed. And apologies to the viewers for the language here. It is an emotional topic, so apologies for that little slip there. But we will crack on, Nicholas. Yes, so a podium tonight around Daytona. In this field, that's not a bad result. How was the race for you overall?
Oh, there were patches where it was, we're kind of all kind of locked in, just running in the pack for quite a few laps at a time, and it got a bit sketchy when felt like it was going 3 or pushing to 4 wide at points. But it was a really exciting race, and I'm just kind of surprised where I finished after, I think, dropping down to 16th or 17th at one point, and then just trying to fuel save whilst in the pack just to get to the end, and surprised to see myself leading at a couple of different points, but couldn't quite nail the start at the end. But another podium.
Yep, another podium for the collection, and a marker laid down for the rest of the season. We've got Charlotte up next. How are you looking forward to that?
I don't think I've raced there apart from, because is that the one with the Roval that you kind of do?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I think I've maybe raced in that configuration, but not sure about the Oval one. So, we'll see how it goes. I've got the first 3 tracks of the Oval season, so if I keep doing well, I might have to buy a few more tracks to finish it out. But we'll see how it goes. But good start nonetheless.
Indeed, yes. Very good start, and congratulations once again, bringing home the podium, and best of luck for Charlotte, and hopefully we do see you for the rest of the season, Nicholas.
Thank you.
There we go then, folks. That was the podium sitters after Daytona. Does not disappoint once again. Strategy is absolutely on point for a lot of the drivers, and the grit and determination certainly on display. Going into round 2, though, it will be Lewis Bahadur who's laid down that marker. He brought the win, qualified in 5th position, got himself up to 1st and brought home a very nice race win. And his main championship rival, Lucas Blake, well down the order in 11th. But Dylan De Bono, we cannot go without mentioning him. He took pole position and strategized his way to a 2nd place. So he's certainly going to be one to watch for the rest of the season as well. So make sure you get yourself tuned in for those here on TrackSpotTV. Best way to do that, hit the like and subscribe, and make sure you get all the notifications for all of the racing that we've got on offer. But I believe, George, that is all we have got time for today, and what a day of racing it has been.
It's been a fantastic opener to Season 2. Daytona never disappoints, no matter what format you're doing, certainly here at the Oval Series. I mean, we saw so many safety cars out there, and that's not to say that that's what gives it the action, but it certainly shook things up. It made the drivers have to really think about what they were doing in terms of strategies, and in a great top 3 there from the guys. There was a few drivers who'll be a bit disappointed today. I think Lucas will be wondering what's going to happen to his season, or if this is starting off like the previous one did, and whether or not he can find some form or find some luck, I suppose, in that case, because 2 unlucky incidents for him throughout this one. A number of other drivers involved in that as well. Matthew Searle, just to name a couple. So we'll see what happens in round 2. Charlotte will always go off with a bit of a bang as well.
Yeah, well, yes, so will the rest of the season, of course. An absolute cacophony of tracks for the drivers, and the mid-season classic as well. So again, make sure you get tuned in for those. Before we go, I do want to mention, of course, just once more, dedicated to, it was beautiful to see Lewis dedicating his win to Jack Kelly-Reid, an absolute diamond of a human being. And if you do want to make yourself a better person or racer, Jack would be the perfect template to copy. So again, absolutely sorely miss Jack, and yeah, this won't be the last time you get mentioned, but yeah, just a quick RIP to Jack as well, once again, before we go. But that is all that we have got time for here on TrackSpotTV. Once again, thank you to everyone that has been in the chat, keeping us company. Thank you to the racers for putting on the show. Thank you to George for saving my bacon with the broadcast this morning. We will see you all again tomorrow. We'll be back for the Tasman Racing League road season, so make sure you tune in for that. And of course, next week we'll be back for Charlotte. Until then, stay safe, take it easy, and have a great rest of your night. Good night.